So Drew Brees and the Saints just lost to the Las Vegas Raiders on Monday Night Football. Let's talk out and see what I thought about the whole game. Obviously, I think a lot of the problems are with Drew Brees. I think Drew Brees' age is finally catching up with him. Now, what I'm seeing a lot of people doing is that with Tom Brady, when he lost last week to Drew Brees, everyone was saying, "Oh my God, look, Brady threw 2 interceptions. He must be washed now. He can't throw more than 20 yards." The problem is the exact same thing that's happened to Drew Brees. I mean, he threw more than 6 yards. It was either an incompletion, overthrow, underthrow, or an interception. And that's a problem. Sean Payton goes, "Drew, we are going to need you to throw a pass longer than 6 yards." Drew Brees says, "Nah, I'm good, bro. I'm just gonna whoops." It's just I don't know. I don't think Drew Brees is gonna be able to start for the entirety of the season. I mean, he averages 4.82 air yards on a pass this season so far. That's the lowest than any QB through 2 games since Brett Favre in 2009. He is throwing less than 5 yards a pass. That is a problem. In today's NFL, if you can't throw for about 8 yards, 9 yards of throw, you're not going to be an effective quarterback. You're not going to be an effective offense, therefore not an effective team, because then you put your defense in bad spots like what happened today. Because that Saints defense kept getting put in bad spots. It just wasn't being put in good spots. Now, I will say this. The Raiders, you did a good job. You just did. I think Drew Brees is having a much more deeper fall off. The similarities of 2015 to 2016 MVP Peyton Manning and 2020 to 2021 Drew Brees are outstanding. The similarities are so close together. Peyton Manning, his arm was a wet noodle. Drew Brees' arm, if this continues throughout more than 2 weeks, because last week wasn't even that great of an arm, if this continues until like week 6, I will say Drew Brees has a noodle arm and they're not going to win the Super Bowl. Because, again, 2015 NFL is still completely different than 2020 NFL. I mean, 2016 NFL, run game was still heavily important. Yes, quarterbacks are throwing for 4,000 yards, 30 plus touchdowns, yada, yada, yada. I'm talking about when you game planned for the run still. Now, you have a Patrick Mahomes, Deshaun Watson, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen. All these quarterbacks, Russell Wilson even, is now adapting more to throw. All these quarterbacks that are considered top of the league now throw 30 plus times a game, 35 plus times again. Back then, that was like, oh wow, that was a lot of throws. Now, Joe Burrow, a rookie, just threw for 61, 62 attempts on Thursday against the Browns. I don't think Drew Brees' arm can hold up throwing 30 times a game for 16 games anymore. I don't think he can. I think he's going to retire at the end of the season, whether he has a Super Bowl or not. I don't think there's a lot of hope for the Saints season so far. Obviously, you got lucky. You beat a Buccaneers team that hadn't even had a game yet under their belt as an offense. I think they just got lucky. Because again, as I just said, that was Tom Brady's first game as a Buccaneer. Leonard Fournette's first game as a Buccaneer. Tom Brady's first time throwing to Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, everyone besides Gronkowski for the first time in a game. I think it's important to remember that the Saints had an easy week 1. Not easy talent-wise, easy scheme and strategy and skill-wise. Because they were able to say, hey, we've been a cohesive unit for 17 years now. Everyone on offense and defense have been here besides the rookies. And Emmanuel Sanders. Besides that, everyone was here last year and the year before that. Let's just run it back. The Buccaneers, however, had to do a completely different offense. Jameis Winston, his offense is completely different than Tom Brady offense. And that's what we need to realize is they need a couple of weeks to develop in Tampa Bay. So I think the Saints got a really lucky week 1 to show off. They're like, oh, look, we beat the Buccaneers. Drew Brees must still be good. MVP Drew Brees. I just don't think so. I think he's more close to Peyton Manning than he is Patrick Mahomes. So here's some numbers for Drew Brees. Drew Brees against Las Vegas in week 2. 5 of 9 on passes 10 plus yards downfield. 0 of 1 on passes 20 plus yards downfield. That means out of his 38 attempts, only 10 were 10 plus yards. 28 attempts were less than 10 yards, averaging 4.82. I'm sorry, but he's washed. It hurts me to say that Drew Brees is washed up. Now let's go over to the Las Vegas side of the game. Derek Carr played an amazing game. Josh Jacobs, a little underwhelming. I'm not gonna say he played well. Josh Jacobs was 27 carries for 88 yards, 3.3 average. You know, not a great game for Josh Jacobs, but I'll give it to him. I just I feel like Las Vegas now has a more of a chance than the Broncos, especially with the Broncos suffering all those injuries. But even before that, I think the Raiders are now 2-0, just like the Chiefs. I believe it's Chiefs and Raiders are 2-0. I think the Raiders will probably take that second spot. The Chargers, Anthony Lynn just drove Justin Herbert through the mud in an interview, and obviously the Broncos have sustained so many injuries. It's very rough to watch the first 2 weeks because obviously injuries, and now we're starting to see all these teams with new coaches, new quarterbacks, new big play receivers, big play running backs. It's just all not cohesive right now. So that when you see a Saints offense and a Saints defense, to be honest with you, get torched and dismantled when they're one of the teams that we all thought, oh yeah, they've been there together for a long time, that they should be doing good in 2020, that they're not, and if this trend continues, they'll probably be a 500 sub 500 team. It's hard to watch and hard to think about. But yeah, that's my thoughts on the Saints versus Las Vegas Raiders game. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you did enjoy this content, please consider subscribing, like, comment. I don't know if I just said that already, but make sure to comment Drew Brees' wet noodle if you made it this far. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. I'll see you next time. Peace.